Purple is the outline of deck stuff, yellow is the outline of our platforms, red and blue are the two houses. She wants it to look elemental and ancient. And the floor is going to look sort of elemental and ancient too, because it's like the lava flow that's covered the whole thing. So the idea is that nothing grows here, but it's been around forever. Having worked with him for 12 shows now, and basically 12 shows in a row, we've developed a working style that sort of read each other's minds. I often don't have to ask Michael questions because I know how he likes to have the rehearsal hall set up. It's a little bittersweet because Michael is really one of the strongest directors I've ever worked with.
Michael Kahn is the artistic director of the Shakespeare Theatre Company, and this is his 33rd year of being the artistic director. He is the founding artistic director, and it's his last. So we at Shakespeare Theatre Company, and those of us in Washington, D.C., we're feeling the weight of Michael's leaving on us.
The ORESTEIA is a notoriously long and difficult play to adapt. It's actually 3 different plays that Aeschylus wrote. So to adapt into one night of theater is an enormous undertaking, and not something that has been done very often over the last 3,000 years or so. So this is a huge project for the entire company, and since this is Michael Kahn's last show, there is, I would say, even more pressure on everyone to get it right.
The first rehearsal of any new play is sort of thrilling and scary and celebratory, because it's like the beginning of the last leg of a very long process. In this case, years-long process. It isn't always that way. And to finally have the cast that we have worked so hard to assemble was really, it's a lovely feeling, because we really have the right people. We've had a long time to really put together this particular community of artists, and it's always great to begin the journey together.
First rehearsal morning for us is usually a mad dash. It's our first time to address the entire group. That's actors, designers, local artists, visiting artists, and really sort of give everyone that baseline information they need that will make the next 12 weeks successful.
It was over 2 years ago that Michael approached me to really with the idea for the show. He wanted to do a brand new adaptation of Aeschylus's ORESTEIA, which is like an epic trilogy, one of the oldest texts we have. So it's been a very deliberate process, and as it's emerged, each part, it's, you know, everyone has gotten more and more excited because we're starting to see the whole piece put together.
Michael's final first rehearsal. There's sadness. It's sadness, but also excitement. I'm really, really excited to see what Michael is going to do with this show that he's wanted to do for so long.
I'm Fran Dorn. I'm playing Chorus G, and I think I'm the only person in the cast who was in Michael Kahn's first show, and I'm in his last show.
Hi, I'm Kelly Curran, playing Clytemnestra.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Watson, playing Agamemnon. I'm sorry.
These are interesting times to be an artist in, and this is an interesting city to be an artist in. And it's been as hard for me as it's been for all of us, but there's been something vitally helpful about working on something this great, and something that takes on the hardest things and tries to talk about them. I mean, the other thing that I have always loved about the Greeks, and why I can't seem to step away from them, is they take on the hardest things. They take on the biggest questions. They do not answer those questions.
One of the great things about Ellen's text is that it actually embraces metaphor. And the house is something that should feel like it could explode at any minute. I think of it as a reliquary, a casket, an oven, something in which will explode, and in fact, it does explode.
This story reminds me of my favorite technique, which is the Martha Graham technique. So embodying that emotion, and there's a series in Graham work where you plea into the ground, and those contractions can build so much life and emotion through you physically.
So I'm working with a lot of found sounds, radiator, drones, electricity, machines, but paired with string quartet and voices. The chorus, will you all sing or not? We're gonna figure that out together.
You know, the Martha Graham technique is coming from like the center of the solar plexus, so just to see how that's manifested in like all the different characters and bodies of the chorus, I'm interested in it with like the move, like being on the lava textured floor, like the full of foam, like is that possible?
The floor is gonna be massive. Like they're carving it out of foam. I can't wait to see it. They like 3D modeled the sample that she gave them of the floor, and now they're like trying to draft that out. It's crazy. I'm excited to see it, but I think like patrons are gonna be surprised that like we can fit all of the events and those and condense them down into 2 hours, because it makes it so much more approachable than having to sit through a 6-hour play.
And I think Alan's done a really good job of like condensing it all and keeping the poeticism behind it.
Yeah, her and Michael have like a really great partnership in creating it.
I have a very favorite part of the rehearsal process. That's sitting around the table, reading the play, and discovering the play all together and talking about it. That is my favorite time. And then we put it on its feet, and I'm always very nervous. I mean, I've directed 175 plays in my life, and I'm still like, I won't know how to stage a play. I mean, of course I know how to stage a play. I just have fear and self-doubt. So it's always been an exciting challenge. It's something new, which has kept me going.
What do you want audiences to get out of seeing the show?
Well, I hope that they will get caught up in the story, that they will relish Ellen's text, and that the questions that we raised at the end of the play about killing, revenge killing, is resonant to them with the time we live. That's what I